Hello, this is Bruno Pelletier-bacquaert. So this is part 3, I believe, of Autumn Leaves. And so we looked at the melody all kinds of ways. Now we're going to start looking at the chords. And the first thing I would like us to go through is what we call those 3-note voicings. Piano players call them shells sometimes, but it's the same thing, 3-note voicings, meaning that instead of the 4 notes that all those chords should require, we are going to boil them down to only 3 notes. And those 3 notes being the root, giving its name to the chord, the third, which is going to be major or minor, and we're going to skip the 5th and go then to the 7th, which will be major or minor. No 5th because it's the least important note. I'm not saying we should never play 5ths. I'm saying in this particular context we are going to omit the 5th. So the 3rd is important. It makes the chord major or minor. So that those are huge families, and the 7th is really going to tell us what kind of 7th chord we have. So just the combination of a certain kind of 3rd with a certain kind of 7th will give us a certain kind of 7th chord as a whole. Okay, so there's a nice sequence there again. There's a nice descending movement going on with those chords. And you know what? I'll put a PDF that will show you diagrams for those chords. But let's look at the chords one by one. So the first chord is C minor 7 to F7 to B flat major 7. So we have a 2-5-1 in B flat. So it's going to be this. And you will notice that the bass notes are going to bounce back and forth between the 6th and the 5th string. C, F, B flat, and then it's going to go to E flat, then it goes to A, then it goes to D, and then it goes to G. So we have this systematic way of moving through the changes. It's not a big mystery here. Remember, our guitars are tuned in 4ths, and that's what the root movement is for the first. If you look at, again, the A section, so you have C to F to B flat to E flat. Those are perfect 4ths. That's a series of 4ths. C to F to B flat to E flat. Now E flat to A, it is a 4th also, but it's not a perfect 4th, it's an augmented 4th. So there's a little adjustment here. But then from the A to D to G, those are perfect 4ths again. So that's why it's going to lay so well on the guitar. And chords that move in 4ths have a tendency to go down. All right, that's why if I play the first 8 measures, I'm going to have this from C minor 3, 4 to F to B flat to E flat, that is now, to A minor to D7 to G. Now you notice I'm playing a G minor 6, and that is actually an important thing to be aware of. Because all too often charts will say G minor 7th there. It's not a G minor 7th because this is what we call a tonic minor chord. We are, at this point, we are in G minor. And when we land on the G minor chord, we don't want to hear 7. And I don't want to make a big deal of it here in this video, but trust me, when you get to that part of the song, it's a G minor 6 because it sounds more like the end of the journey. It's like the destination home. We've arrived. Whereas a minor 7th chord, if we were playing a G minor 7th chord, it would kind of let us hanging. It wants to continue, right? But if we play that note in the chord, it sounds great. Okay, so C minor, F7, B flat major 7, E flat major 7, A minor. So the chart calls for a minor 7 flat 5, correct? Also known as a half diminished chord. But remember, we are omitting fifths in those chords, meaning then we'll treat this as a regular A minor chord. We'll deal with the flatted fifth later, but for now we'll just treat it as a regular A minor chord. D7 and then G minor 6. Now, since that section is repeated, what we can do, or probably should do in some cases, is since we have two measures of that G minor 6, let's play one measure of it, and then the second measure, let's make it a G dominant 7th, because then it's going to want to go back to a C minor, because G7 would function as the 5 of the C minor chord. So what I would like you to do is be able to play, well, first, the first 8 measures in many possible ways, and this is what I mean by many possible ways. What I did not explain about those 3-note voicings is not only do we have the root either on the 5th or on the 6th string, but then we will find the 3rds and 7ths on the 2 middle strings, strings 3 and 4, which means then that for any given chord, we're going to have 2 potential places for it, 2 potential forms. For the C minor, if my root is on the 6th string, this is the chord. However, if my root were on the 5th string, that would be my chord. And here I have C, B flat, E flat, whereas here, the 3rds and 7ths are flipped around. It's C, E flat, and B flat. Okay, so it's the same chord, same 3 notes, but they are presented differently. So it would be helpful, since we have 2 5s and 2 5 1s throughout the song. It would be interesting to know how to play those 2 5 1s in different possibilities. So C minor, F7, B flat. If I play the C minor here, C minor, F7, and now the B flat is going to require an open string here. I could have done the whole thing up here. C minor, F7, B flat, major 7. That's the same grips that I was using down here. But then now, my B flat, I'm able to do it without using open strings. So I could do a C minor, F7, B flat, and I could continue down, E flat, major 7, and then A minor, D7, and then this is going to be my G minor 6, G, B flat, and E natural. Same notes that I had here, but permutated. Here was G, E, and B flat instead of B flat and E. Okay? So that was the 2 5 1 in B flat, right? C minor, F7 to B flat, or C minor, F7, B flat major. How about now the 2 5 1 in G minor? So we saw previously A minor, D7, G minor 6. Now we also could do the A minor here, the D7 here, and the G minor 6 there. Okay, so it's A, D, G, or A, D, G. Okay, so work on those. Break down the form. Like I said, there's going to be a PDF that has the whole thing. You can follow on it, but again, I would encourage you to find different ways to playing those same chords, right? And I'll just turn on the metronome here. So I'm not going to play exactly what's on the page because I don't have it in front of me, but I'll play through the whole form with the metronome, the clicks on 2 and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. B flat. PDF of the changes, the chord changes, those diagrams to help you at least navigate through the tune. But again, break it down and find, you know, a few different ways, you know. So you could start with this C minor, you could start with this C minor, you could start with this C minor. Just one little word, one recommendation, because we have limitations, you know, with our necks. Try, whenever possible, try to make a complete 2-5-1 in one same position, because the whole point is the voice leading between all those chords. So if we jump around, then we're not going to hear the voice leading as nicely. But like say here, if I'm playing my C minor, here I would have to go to the F7 that is here, and then the B flat that is here. If I wanted to stay away from my open string, then I could do C minor, F, and then maybe go here, even though it's not ideal because I'm sort of breaking the flow. Another option could have been going C minor to this F7, which then would have the advantage of resolving nearby, right? But you know, there are limitations, and when we look at other chords, other voicings, then by putting extra notes on top of these 3-note voicings, then we can smooth out the angles and make the voice leading work a little better. But there's a good reason also why I want you, I just said, right, to work on these 3-note voicings, is because they are going to expose the chord tones, the thirds and sevenths, those very important 2 notes that we are going to rely on heavily when we also improvise. Okay, so do that, and I think you'll be in good shape for the continuation. So if you have any questions, if there's anything that's not clear, do not hesitate to contact me, either through those comments here on YouTube, or contact me directly, email me. A lot of you are emailing me directly, which in some ways is nice. So just reach out and ask ask your questions if you have any problems. Okay, bye.